Kris came to be when her soul combined with a snow cloud in the sky. She is sarcastic, laid back, tomboyish, and a natural-born leader. She's pretty funny and makes sure not to take things too seriously. But she knows when things should be taken more seriously, and acts accordingly. This being said, she also has an incredibly soft side that shows up every now and then when her friends do something thoughtful for her. She also has a pet dragon, bird thingy, who she named Ark, but that's a story for another day. Also, don't tell her I told you this, but she has a huge crush on Lucy. Kris was initially going to be a boy named Nick. Upon building her torso, however, it became clear to me that Nick was in fact a girl. After completing her initial build, her name remained Nick for a while, but it never really felt right. After a few months, I got back to redesigning and updating her, but I was struggling with some pretty intense builder's block at the time. Until the name Kris popped into my head. After that, everything started flowing, and that's when I knew her name. Kris has also gone through the most amount of iterations when compared to the rest of the Geobots I've built. The average iteration count for my Geobots is between 3 and 5 before I'm happy with them. But I think this is the 17th version Kris has had over the years. I don't have images of all of them, but you can see the stark differences in her design through these pictures. Kris's face markings are naturally occurring, and they appear on her temples and the sides of her head. The temples denote bravery, and the sides of the head denote curiosity. Kris has the same articulation that is standard for the first wave of Geobots. We have a ball joint at the ankle, which can do a full 180. We have a ball joint at the knee, which can also do a full 180. We have a ball joint at the hip, which struggles to do the full 180, but it helps that the knee can. We can also move out to the side, and we've also got a crunch at the abs over there. Perfect for posability. We have a ball joint at the shoulder, which can move around pretty nicely. We have a hinge at the elbow, and we have a ball joint at the neck. And technically speaking, you can wobble around these little wing thingies, but it looks kind of weird. And I don't know why you would want to do that. Anyways, there you go, Kris. Come on, look at the camera. There we go. Be awesome. And perfect. Beautiful. Nicely done, Kris. The backpack for Kris uses a couple extra pieces, but it's still pretty simple. It sports 2 Technic pinholes to allow a more diverse set of connection points for later usages, but for now, it is best suited to store her shield using stud pins. Kris's shield is made of crystallized and solidified clouds, meaning it is lightweight but nigh unbreakable. It sports a pair of small blades which can be used as daggers in cases of emergency. With the blades removed, other weapons can be stored in their place, allowing for access to a diverse arsenal of weaponry, ready for any challenge. Geobots are known to have a special companion or partner, a best friend who is with them through everything. And for Kris, that very special companion is Lucy. Look, they even have matching shields. I love her subtle mohawk hairstyle. I like that it kind of continues down between her eyes and ends in what sort of resembles a small bird's beak. I also love her chest design. I think it's very clean and definitely does a better job of displaying femininity than her other iterations, which is an important aspect to showcase with a name like Kris. I'd fear the mix-up would be frightfully frequent. Another thing I super like is her shoulder design. Not only is it clean and icy, but if you remove this little cheese slope piece, you can place Ark on her shoulder. How neat. I also love her crest and mohawk. I think they add a lot of personality. and removing any of them would result in a very different feeling face. As the same with all the other Geobots in Wave 1, Kris has issues with her elbow hinge joint. It has an amazing range of motion in one axis, but has absolutely zero range of motion in any of the other two axes without replacing the clippy piece in the upper arm, which is a frightfully inconvenient process. I mentioned this in the Lucy review, but I do have an idea for fixing the stability and posing issues, while maintaining a similar form factor of the arms. But that's a story for when I order the parts. I also plan to replace the counterfeit elements in the legs with genuine official LEGO parts. I could also redesign the entire thing using system parts, but thanks to an absolutely wonderful comment I got on the Lucy review video, I realized I actually quite like the CCBS legs, and I want to keep them. After years of upgrading, updating, redesigning, and reconstructing, I love how Kris looks. I'm so proud of how far she's come. I'm aware some people may dislike her spiky hair, or the fact that the middle of her face isn't smooth like the rest of the Geobots, but I think those aspects blend perfectly with her personality, and add so much to her design that it's hard to imagine her without them. While she suffers from the hinged elbows just like the rest of Wave 1, she remains to be one of the best Geobots I've ever had the pleasure of designing, and she pairs so nicely with Lucy and their highly contrasting colors and personalities. I think that's what ties everything together so well. This has been my in-depth review of Kris from the LEGO fan theme called Geobots. If you're confused about what a Geobot is, I recommend the video on the left. If you want to meet Lucy, check out the video on the right. Keep your eyes peeled for the next video, because we'll be starting part 2 of the first wave of Geobots, Sebastian. But anyways, until the next one, I'll catch you around.